How about them Cowboys? Angry Cowboys fan. Born to battle. Start just means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. When the sun shines bright, that's where we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the angry Cowboys fan. And after making the decision to tag George Pickens with the non-exclusive franchise tag, Jerry Jones invites a number of reporters on the Dallas Cowboys bus at the Combine. During the interview, Jerry Jones spoke about being more aggressive during free agency this year. To some, that may sound like a broken record. I get it, Cowboys Nation. But to others, this continues to add to the perception of change when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys owner/GM, Jerry Jones. So we're going to take a listen to a few clips that I got for y'all, then y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to what Jerry Jones had to say while chilling on the Dallas Cowboys bus outside the NFL Combine.
Tag news today. Do you hope that that's a placeholder for a long-term deal?
Well, of course, it's the system in the NFL. And I did visit with George to let him know what we were going to do today. I told him how excited we are that he is going to have the future with the Cowboys, that he was very deserving because in and of itself it's a very significant attaboy relative to where we thought we would be 5 or 6 months ago. So, or however long that's been. But the bottom line is that it was a privilege to be able to, frankly, let him know that he was going to have certainly that kind of interest in us. I expressed to him how valuable a part of the team that we think he is, I think he is, the kind of contribution he can make. He'll continue to get better working with Dak and working with the other receivers. So we talked about the future. We both reiterated how good it was for him to be here, and know that what we have in place assures that he will be here.
Cowboys Nation, I honestly think it is the smartest placeholder that you could have placed on George Pickens, that non-exclusive franchise tag. When Jerry Jones said that he spoke with George Pickens, though, I kind of got a little scared, Cowboys Nation. I got scared because of what happened with Micah Parsons. I thought to myself, oh, God, here we go again. We're going to be talking numbers. And David Mulugeta's not in the room. But apparently, that wasn't the case, Cowboys Nation. From what I gather, Jerry was putting George Pickens on to what was about to happen to him. That they were going to be placing the franchise tag on him in order to get him signed to the Dallas Cowboys. I'll tell you this, though, Cowboys Nation. It was refreshing to hear that Jerry Jones spoke to George Pickens, and George Pickens was excited about remaining a Dallas Cowboy. Now let's go ahead and jump into the second clip, because I'm going to break it all down during this raw and uncut portion, because I believe it runs deeper than just wanting another player on the team. So let's go ahead and roll that second clip.
As far as negotiation of terms and length of terms, we've had several outstanding players that have played under the franchise tag, including Dak, to be specific. I think Lawrence, and I need my notes to go through any others, but we've got a great track record of working with players through this time. There are two different things. One is very clearly the Cowboys want George Pickens to be a part of our future. That's very clearly. That says that so clearly. And it has a lot of muscle behind it when it says it. So I'm clear with that. I was rewarded that he expressed himself in the way he did about how comfortable he was here, how much he liked working with Dak and his teammates, and he was looking forward to his future with the Cowboys. So that's where we'll leave it. I know the subject is where are we? What can we do regarding a negotiation? That's just that, and the system's in place that if you can negotiate and it works for both parties, that's fine. If not, you play on the tag. So that's official now, and it's in place, and that's the way I look at it.
You see, Cowboys Nation, one thing that pissed me off when it came to people like Chad Ochocinco saying that Jerry doesn't pay his players. There are more examples of Jerry Jones getting fleeced by his top players than there are him not paying them. Just because Micah Parsons is fresh in everybody's mind, they think it's going to end the same way Micah Parsons' deal ended. I'm sorry, Cowboys Nation, but if an agent is basing contract negotiations off of prior emotions from a completely separate contract negotiation, then that player needs to fire said agent because he's not going to get any good type of players in the future. That's real talk, Cowboys Nation. Now let's go ahead and jump into this third clip so we can come back and unpack this raw and uncut.
So often when we've done franchise, we get long-term deals done. That's a lot of confidence there. We really get a lot of deals done because we want them to be a part of the future beyond the franchise year for it to be there. We've even gone as far as, just to remind you that we basically have franchise like Dak twice. And so there's no question. That's why I'm trying to be real clear. Without a question, this is an expression on our part of what kind of person we think he is, what kind of player we think he is. I think that in its own way says a lot right there. Regarding his representation, I can clearly work with his agent, not clearly to you, but clearly to me. I have no issues. We haven't met, as you well know, but we haven't met. But to the end that we can have discussion about him and other players that he represents.
I'm going to keep it a buck, Cowboys Nation. I'm pretty comfortable with the decisions of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm at ease when it comes to George Pickens remaining a Dallas Cowboy moving forward. This was one of the smartest free agency moves that the Dallas Cowboys could do this year, and they're taking the bull by the horns. I do feel it's my responsibility to clarify a few things when it comes to the non-exclusive franchise tag, though. So, y'all ready for this raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Get ready for the angry Cowboys fans, raw and uncut.
I'm keeping it real. They keep it real. That's real.
All right, Cowboys Nation. I know there are some people getting tired of hearing about it, or they want the team to just show them rather than tell them. But I feel Jerry Jones is moving in a different direction this offseason. When it comes to the organizational approach so far this offseason, Jerry and Stephen Jones has approached this in a way that Cowboys Nation is not accustomed to. They've approached it with a clear plan in sight, a plan where I feel they have absolutely no interest in trading George Pickens. They expect George Pickens to be a part of this Dallas Cowboys team moving forward. They don't have an interest in tagging and trading George Pickens. They just want to be able to negotiate a number that's within a typical price range and not the inflated numbers from Trevor Smith, David Mulugeta, and Athletes First. Placing George Pickens on the non-exclusive franchise tag, it strips the power of inflation from Athletes First and forces the league to determine George Pickens' market value. Now, let's say that they put the exclusive franchise tag on George Pickens. It doesn't give Athletes First the ability to negotiate with other type of players. He would just have to play on the franchise tag if the Dallas Cowboys didn't come to an agreement with Athletes First. With this non-exclusive franchise tag, the team which bids for his services will set the table when it comes to the cap dollar amount George Pickens is worth in the league. Let's say that the Dallas Cowboys set the floor at $27 million and a team like the Buffalo Bills come in and bid $28 million. The Dallas Cowboys can match that offer, and it would be up to the player whether or not he wanted to sign with the Buffalo Bills or remain a Dallas Cowboy. The way Jerry Jones spoke about George Pickens and how excited he was to remain a Dallas Cowboy, it's going to take a team to completely outbid the Dallas Cowboys in order to get George Pickens to walk away from the star. And I spoke about it in a X space earlier this morning, and I spoke about it in one of my most recent videos. There are positives when it comes to remaining a Dallas Cowboy. So many positives that it would take another team to really sweeten the offer to make George Pickens want to move to a different team. I spoke about the no state income tax situation in Texas. If any other team in a state with a state income tax deduction wants to acquire George Pickens, then they would have to seriously outbid the Dallas Cowboys in order to acquire George Pickens. They wouldn't be able to come to the table and just offer a flat $30 million because not only the state income tax being a factor, the jock tax also comes into play, Cowboys Nation. The jock's tax, what is it? It's a tax that each and every player has to pay in order to play in a state which has state income tax deductions. Meaning, if George Pickens went to the Kansas City Chiefs, not only would he have to pay state income tax in Missouri, he would also have to pay state income tax for each away game that the Chiefs played in during the year that they signed him. With the Dallas Cowboys, he doesn't have to worry about paying for 8 games out of the year. So if the Dallas Cowboys were to offer him $36 million a year, it would take a team like the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles, New England Patriots, Chicago Bears, or Green Bay Packers to bid north of $40 million to entice George Pickens to want to leave the Dallas Cowboys. Not only that, but they would also have to be willing to give up 2 first-round picks as well. Then I got asked a question about if a team could negotiate having to give less of their draft capital to the Dallas Cowboys for George Pickens. I mean, sure, they can negotiate attaining George Pickens while giving less draft capital, but that would cause for the Dallas Cowboys to give up all of their leverage with the non-exclusive franchise tag. That would take the Dallas Cowboys to say, well, sure, we'll take less than 2 first-round picks for the player that you want. What would be the odds in that happening? Slim to none, Cowboys Nation. There could be a scenario where a team wants George Pickens and they could negotiate a player while changing those 2 first-round picks into a player and another first-round pick. Let's go ahead and satisfy the Max Crosby crowd real quick. If the Las Vegas Raiders threw out their bid to the Dallas Cowboys, the Cowboys could negotiate with the Raiders to relinquish Max Crosby while only giving up 1 first-round pick, and it would be the same as if they gave up 2 first-round picks, but I don't foresee that happening unless the Dallas Cowboys would agree to not take the Las Vegas Raiders' first-round pick for the 2026 draft. That's the team that's looking to secure their future franchise quarterback with that first-round draft, Cowboys Nation. Also, I don't foresee George Pickens wanting to go to a team that's currently in a rebuild. Also, people have talked about the Cleveland Browns being able to offer George Pickens some great money in this offseason. Cowboys Nation, we can't forget that the player has a say in where he goes as well. Unlike Micah Parsons, I don't think that money is the driving force for George Pickens. I don't foresee George Pickens going to a team for just the money alone. He has the right to turn down the offer that comes his way, Cowboys Nation, and I truly feel that he would turn down the offer to the Cleveland Browns. But as far as Pickens not signing the non-exclusive franchise tag, if he doesn't sign the tag, then he and Athletes First give up their right to negotiate during free agency with any team. They can't turn down the non-exclusive franchise tag from the Dallas Cowboys and then go negotiate with other teams. It doesn't work that way, Cowboys Nation. In order for them to have freedom to field incoming calls, they have to sign a non-exclusive tender, and then the bidding war can start during the free agency process. Now let's go ahead and talk about Jerry Jones real quick. I truly believe Jerry Jones is moving differently when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys team now, Cowboys Nation. The reason why I feel it's different is because I feel his mortality is staring him right in the face. Every day Jerry Jones wakes up is a blessing in his eyes. I remember the last couple years that my grandmother was living. She would call around to everybody in the family. She would be apologizing to everyone. She said to me, if I made you mad in any kind of way, just know that I'm sorry. Her legacy was super important to her before she died. You could tell that she was moving in ways that solidified her name and her legacy as a great person. In Jerry Jones's case, I feel he's doing the exact same thing, Cowboys Nation. You can see how much Stephen Jones has been at the forefront of this Dallas Cowboys offseason this year. More so than years prior, Cowboys Nation. But Jerry's trying to do what he can to make sure that his family's set up for the long haul, set up for when he's gone. And that doesn't mean set up financially. That means being set up successfully. But Jerry Jones has this dream of being the owner with the most championships before he dies. He knows that his time is running short in that realm, Cowboys Nation. At some point, he's going to have to go ahead and buckle down and really put everything into that goal he set for himself. There's no time like the present, Cowboys Nation. And doing things differently doesn't constitute Jerry Jones spending every single cap dollar on top names and top players in the league. Not just going out there and jumping on every single top free agent that comes around in free agency. It's being aggressive and making the right decision for the team. It's not going after every player that's the talking heads have linked to the Dallas Cowboys. It's being calculated in the decisions that he does make. So, Cowboys Nation, I am firmly comfortable in the decision to tag George Pickens to that non-exclusive franchise tag. In order for athletes first to be able to field offers for George Pickens, they got to agree to the tag, Cowboys Nation. If they have no success in finding a suitor or they haven't reached a long-term agreement with the Dallas Cowboys by July 15th, George Pickens is going to have to play on that franchise tag worth $27.2 million. It would be in the best interest of George Pickens and athletes first to get a deal done. Not according to their numbers, but according to the market that the league dictates for him. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. Cowboys Nation, what do you feel about what Jerry Jones had to say on the bus at the Combine? Do you believe in the moves that he's made, and do you see a difference in the way he's handling free agency? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and you want to help the channel reach its current goal of 20,000 subscribers, drop a like on this video, share it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and if you're on your mobile device, make sure you hype this video. Doing so will help get the content out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, and we can rep our Dallas Cowboys together. And if you're DC for life and you want George Pickens to remain a Dallas Cowboy for the foreseeable future, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, or film breakdowns. You can catch the Madden 26 or College Football 26 gameplay on the other channel, the Angry Cowboys Fan Gaming Channel. I'll make sure I put the link to that as well as my gamer tag in the description. Come get this smoke. This was the best decision that Jerry and Stephen Jones could have made when it comes to the contract negotiations with George Pickens. It shows Trevor Smith and David Mulugeta what they would get from a team in the open market, and it would also bring them back down to earth with the talks of $40 million. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan Podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.